Today I'll be showing you how to use high-res texture packs in RetroArch for iOS. I'll be doing this with the Mupen 64 Plus Next Core. The method I'll be demonstrating uses the PNG texture pack folders, sometimes called loose texture packs. You might have read online that you can use the cached HTS files, but I could never get those to work in my testing. I'll be using Mario Kart 64 as my test game. It worked the best out of the 3 games that I tested. Because of Nintendo's well-known abuse of the copyright system on YouTube, I'll be muting the sound, but just know that the sound does work. I don't have any non-Nintendo game to test with these texture packs, otherwise I would show you one of those. So first, we'll start out with the texture pack itself. I went to this GitHub repo and then chose the download zip option. Once that's downloaded, you're going to go to your Files app. You'll need to extract the folder, and then I'll show you the correct place to put the extracted folder. Go to On My iPad, RetroArch, the RetroArch folder inside of that, System, Mupen 64 Plus, and then finally High-Res Texture. You'll probably have to create the folder called High-Res Texture. It needs to be named exactly as you see it in my video here, all lowercase with an underscore in between the words. You'll then paste in or move your high-res texture pack folder to this new high-res texture folder. This can take quite a while to transfer over, so be patient. Mine is already there, so I won't bother transferring it again. The name of your texture pack folder needs to be the same as the name of your cache file for that game, minus the memory cache part. I'll show you what I mean by that here in the video. Okay, so I prefer to just do the HUD when I'm using these packs. That's because the texture pack authors often don't seem to conform to the original art style in a way that's tasteful and looks good, in my opinion. There's a few exceptions to this, but for the most part, that's what I've found. Now, I'll just go through and demonstrate the game with and without the texture pack enabled. So I'm launching RetroArch, launching the game, and I'll show you all of my settings here before we start it. So you'll see that this is just the game being emulated with its default textures. Okay, so now we'll change the high-res texture pack settings and relaunch. Remember that I've chosen to only have the in-game HUD replaced in this example. It is possible to do more though. I actually tried to have the intro menu replaced as well, but that just resulted in a bunch of black textures for some reason. On that note, with this game and a couple others, I noticed that some of the textures actually didn't populate. Some of them just had their original textures, and sometimes there was just a black space where the texture was supposed to go. Anyway, this is pretty experimental stuff at this point, and it doesn't seem to work very well, but I thought I'd still make a video about it anyway, since there's not really any guide out there for how to do this, and it does have some partial support here, as you can see. One more thing that I'd like to put out there is that when you are trying to find texture packs to use for this, you need to use texture packs that are made specifically for the Mupen 64 Plus emulator or for the Glide N64 core. So now I'd like to quickly answer some questions that I'll probably get. How do you install RetroArch on your iPad? You download the IPA file from RetroArch site, and then you can use AltStore to sideload the app onto your iPad. Just Google that if you want more info. Next, I'm sure that someone out there is going to ask me how you get the games to play in the simulator. You can either rip them using a console, or there's something called a retrode that allows you to rip the ROM from your game cartridge really easily. It's all kind of pricey though, and ripping games is too large of a topic to quickly cover in this same video. Anyway, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.